All right, we're in here. I'm gonna let the video upload right quick. Okay, so this is Trump and the GE. Katt Williams pimp slaps Cedric the Entertainer. All right, Katt Williams was on Club Shay Shay a couple days ago, and it's got the industry talking. It's got the internet buzz. There are like 19 million views on that video so far, and counting. Could be over 25 million over the weekend. Who knows? He's ending careers. He's calling out the industry. He's calling out other comedians. Kevin Hart, of course. Kevin Hart, ludicrous. Called him out. Faison Love, Ricky Smiley, Cedric the Entertainer, uh, um, Steve Harvey. He's giving shout outs to Mark Curry. Big them up, Mark Curry, D.L. Hewley, Bernie Mac, may he rest in peace. But Katt Williams is my favorite comedian. Funniest guy on the planet, hands down. Great businessman. He does, I guess he owns a lot of his intellectual property. He does these sold out shows around the country. And he has a team of other comedians who he works with. So he's putting other people on. This guy's a boss. Melanie Camacho, Lou Nell, Red Grant. He's putting other comedians on and giving them shine. People who put the work in, people who are, great at telling jokes. And he's going city to city and putting in work. I have no idea what it takes to do a sold out show, city to city, in front of tens of thousands of people and tell jokes for hours. I have no idea what that's like, the type of talent it takes to do that, the type of business acumen to pull that off, and you're not backed by the industry. You're not backed by big money, just word of mouth. With the buzz getting around these cities. So he's a hell of a businessman. He's a boss. I think that's his problem with a lot of other comedians, because he's a boss where a lot of other comedians may be employees or actors in other people's projects. There's nothing wrong with that, however you want to do it. But I think what he's doing is a lot more difficult to me. And he's had beefs in the past. I mean, I like Cedric the Entertainer. I like Steve Harvey. I like to see those guys get along. I like Faison Love. How come these guys can't get along? I'm thinking. But that was years ago when I wasn't really an artist. If you're not an artist, or you haven't written a book before, or done a movie, or you're an actress or an actor, a musician, or comedian, it's hard to understand the mind of an artist. The competitive nature of these guys are very competitive, especially with comedians. They're extremely competitive. And when it gets to publishing and royalties and that type of stuff, that's big money. And so a lot of stuff what Katt Williams talks about when he talks about other comedians in the business side of it, it goes above people's head, because if you're not an artist, you just don't understand. I'm starting to understand a little more of it after writing the book. But he says things in the past that kind of gone above the public's head. I think he clarified a lot of those things recently on Club Shay Shay. One thing that was poignant to me, or resonated with me, is how he said that that Cedric the Entertainer stole one of his jokes when he was an up and coming comedian, and that rubbed Katt the wrong way. So I'm gonna play that clip with Club Shay Shay, and this is just for criticism only. It's just critique and for informational. That's what this is about. All right. So I'm gonna put that out there. All right. So I'm gonna try to share my screen right quick. So here goes.
What comes out in 2000?
The original Kings of Comedy.
Right. I'm on BET's Comic View, and they're using this as the commercial in 1998. Okay. That's why I'm saying, yeah. So if I said the dates wrong, yeah. So
let's go back and clear that up.
Okay.
You said,
yeah,
I had Cedric on here, and I asked him about the joke stealing, and he said the timeline doesn't add up.
Correct.
To that point, you say.
Right. So he thought that I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know.
Right.
The issue was that I had already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice.
Right.
It had done so well on BET's Comic View that they had made it part of the commercial. So part of the commercial of make sure you tune in to BET was you seeing me doing this joke.
Right.
And this joke is one of those jokes in comedy where you set it up and it takes a little longer to set it up, takes about 3 minutes. But then you're just hitting them with jokes after that because you don't have to set it up.
Right.
Mark Curry had already helped me work on this joke because I thought it was good because I was getting a standing ovation on it. He had me go back in the lab and help me craft it to be an even more powerful joke. So this is not just a random joke. This is my very best joke, and it's my last joke, and it's my closing joke.
Okay.
1998, I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the Kings of Comedy. And he's doing it verbatim. He's just changed my car into a spaceship. Him and Steve had already apologized for me, so I gave him a pass for a decade. Why would you sit here and be like, I saw Katt 30 times, and Katt didn't do, as I stand before you, Shannon, I would have bust Cedric's stomach. There was nothing that would have kept me from one of these in that.
Okay, so he gives a lot of detail on the joke that Cedric allegedly stole from him, and it was his favorite joke and it's his closing joke. And I've heard this narrative before from comedians where other comedians steal their jokes and their favorite jokes and their closer. So here's Cedric the Entertainer's version. He responded to Katt. It's a matter of full disclosure. All right.
Address this Katt Williams thing one time, man. I saw people on there really commenting about that. Look, I have no idea what this brother is talking about. That joke is over 30 years old, close to 30-something years old. I did the Kings of Comedy in 1999. Probably have been doing that joke 6, 7 years before that. I don't even know if Katt was doing comedy then. So, again, he's a talented brother. I have no idea what he's talking about. I've never seen Katt do a space shuttle joke. So, there may be something that he believes is true. I've written a lot of jokes. I've had a lot of comedians steal my jokes as well. So I understand if you feel, slighted by that, but that's my joke. That's my joke, dog. Driving space shuttle to the moon, cigarette, cutie pie rocking in the background, parallel parking the spaceship. It's my joke.
Okay. Well, Katt has one version, and Cedric the Entertainer has another version, which means one thing. One of them is lying. Okay, let's see who's lying. Katt gives a lot of detail, extremely lot of detail about how the joke was set up, his closing joke. So he clearly knows the joke. He's told a couple times on BET that made it part of a commercial, and Mark Curry, another comedian who can vouch for him, helped him improve the joke. He met Cedric backstage, gives a lot of detail about where he met Cedric, what Cedric said to him backstage, so on and so forth. Cedric gives a lot of detail about things that don't matter. Notice that. Oh, that joke was over 30 years ago, dog. Other people stole my jokes, dog. That had nothing to do with the point. Whether it was 30 years ago, 30 days ago, whether somebody stole his jokes or not. Well, I did a joke about a spaceship, and that's not the point. Katt said he took it verbatim and changed it from a car to a spaceship, just to create a certain level of similarity. That's what Katt said. So Cedric gives a lot of detail about things that don't matter, and there's a lot of facts about things that don't matter that nobody asked him. So I'm riding with Katt on this. And anyway, but a couple things Katt said that really bothered him, that he's an up and coming comedian. Cedric stole his joke, and maybe Cedric didn't have to steal it for the Kings of Comedy. He was already on the Kings of Comedy. You were already on probably at that point on TV, network TV with Steve Harvey, I think, or close to it. He's already been put on. Everybody knows Cedric the Entertainer. D.L. Hughley, obviously Bernie Mac, and Steve Harvey. That's why you're on the Kings of Comedy. And Katt felt like, you took my joke, you were already on, you didn't have to do it. It's like an 800-pound gorilla stealing a banana from a 400-pound gorilla. Not because he's hungry, because he just can't. And he thought Katt couldn't do anything about it. Well, Katt's doing something about it now. Good for Katt. Good for him, speaking up for himself. So, and something that a lot of artists just don't understand. I wrote a book called Shock Exchange. Here it is right here. So I'm sensitive to this. So I'm accusing someone of plagiarism. Somebody backed by the industry who, got an army behind him. Probably thought he could steal from me, and I wouldn't say anything about it. If I did, he would get his army, his bullies to crowd me out or silence me. And that's sort of what Katt's alluding to, that, Cedric's in cahoots with Steve Harvey and Ricky Smiley, and they all echo each other. They're a bunch of bullies. Those were his exact words. So it's those guys in the industry against him, in no uncertain terms. He called out Steve Harvey for stealing jokes from Mark Curry. Obviously, Katt and Mark are good friends or close or have a relationship. Steve Harvey stole, ideas from Mark Curry's show, Hanging with Mr. Cooper, for Steve's show, The Steve Harvey Show. Stole Mark Curry's whole swag. So now it's coming to light. What Katt's issue with these guys has been over decades. People in the industry may have known about it, but the public just didn't. And so from an artist's perspective, I get it. I get what Katt's problem is, and he's speaking up, and he's letting it be known. He's ending careers, apparently. He's got guys on inline skates. He's ending some guys' careers. He got others on inline skates. And if you don't know what inline skates is, this is what it looks like. Terrence Crawford put Earl Spence on inline skates. This is what it looks like.
Incredible amount of success, and it's not just the jab, the uppercut, and the counter right hook, the left to right, Errol Spence on inline skates, and the rest.
You see how Earl could barely stand up, wobbling around, and couldn't defend himself. That's where Katt has people in the industry. He's got everybody responding to him. The episode with Shay Shay, Club Shay Shay, is getting 19 million views. He's got people responding to him who he didn't even call out. Trick Daddy responded to Katt. Trick Daddy is something Katt said about him years ago. If a Trick Daddy can own a restaurant, you can do anything. So Trick Daddy's in his feelings. So I'm just from one artist to another. I understand where Katt's coming from. This thing about artists stealing from other artists. You gotta stand up for yourself, or they'll just keep doing it. And it's something that's gotten under Katt's skin over the years. He's been complaining about it and calling guys out, and now it's kind of coming to a head. So, I respect Katt's gangster for standing up for himself. I respect the fact that he's a boss. It's like he respects the fact that Trump and the GE are bosses. And he's giving Trump and GE shout out, giving Shock Exchange a shout out my book, which I've appreciated from Katt, from one boss to another. So, that's basically it. That's Katt Williams, Pimp Slaps, Cedric the Entertainer. I don't expect too much more fallout from this, or at least too much more comeback from Cedric or Faison Love or Steve Harvey or Ricky Smiley. But the industry's talking, so it's definitely an eye opener. I think it's something that other artists should maybe take a look at, or maybe follow Katt's example. If you don't stand up for yourself, people keep stealing your material that you worked hard to create. So that's Trump and the G. Katt Williams, Pimp Slap, Cedric the Entertainer. Thank you for listening.